Hello again, Josh with Cullen Cosplay. I'm going to go through a strapping video from basically head to toe on how I've been strapping things and what I use. Everything I usually use is accessible as of Walmart since they're open 24 hours a day. So I usually get my stuff from there, but you can get it from anywhere you have availability for. And just note the strapping video it's more of like an ADD version where it's not the professional stuff, and sometimes I'm not using a sewing machine, sometimes I do. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. You can take whatever you want to and use it for your own, but I've been asked to show, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so as far as tools, I use a rotary tool, a Dremel, utility knife, use a glue gun. I do use the low temp because I use multi-temp glue sticks for all my stuff. I do have 3 kids and I work at a kitchen table, and I usually work in a hotel room, so barge cement and contact cement I don't use. I use that for everything. The Velcro, get elastic, scissors of course, nylon strapping, and parachute buckles. And the reason I'm doing these together is because the parachute buckles you can buy in bulk. I bought mine off of Amazon. I think I got like 50 or 100 for $11 or something like that. And then nylon, depending on where you find it, I've actually bought several backpacks if they were at the dollar store and they had parachute buckles with them. Look for garage sales, vintage stuff, whatever, but I kind of steal stuff from my kids too and pull stuff apart. But if you ever find nylon strapping, I try to buy everything together or find it cheap. The other thing is plastic. I actually have a plastic trash bin that I bought for $2, and that's as much as I used out of it, but I use it for heavy duty snaps. And the heavy duty snaps, I started working on a stormtrooper costume, and that's what they were using for the plastic, and I've been kind of geeking out over snaps since then. So I'm going to start from the feet, work my way up, and then you can see what I got from there. Okay, so the 2 suits I am going to be going over is the Predator and the Mando, just because the parts are really similar to what people are using. But I'm starting with the shins, and for the shins on the Predator, I actually just did Velcro. The templates was tight enough that I did the nice little ballerina feet to get my feet through there. And once I got it on, I just attached the Velcro to my shin, put it on there, and the foam's light enough that it just holds. So it had a free floating shin going off of it, which was really simplistic. The thing about it is whenever you're gluing this stuff on here, of course you have your texture on there, make sure that you sand that down, because it has a protective coating on it. So if you don't sand it down and you glue that on there, as soon as you take it off, it's going to pull off right where you basically glued on there. So since I sanded it down, it's not going to come out. It will rip the foam if I pull this out with the hot glue on it. The Mando, I actually did the straps. Same rule applies. Dremel that stuff down, or you can actually do the crosshatch with the utility knife to actually get the glue to stay in there. But when you're gluing this stuff, like this Velcro right here, it's not the adjustable part, so I actually glued both parts. Glued the first part to the foam, put the strap on, glued the second part, and you just hold it. Make sure you hold it very long. Don't pull it up and start messing with it. Let it fully cure, give it 5 minutes, do whatever you need to. But that's what I did on all sides. You gotta sand them all down, and they're not gonna come off. This stuff will rip before it actually comes out, and that's with low temp glue gun. So just like I said, that's what I do on my shins, and that's what you're pretty much gonna see through most of the stuff. It's very simple and it's very quick. Okay, for the belt section, one of the things that makes it really fun is whenever it comes to your regular pieces that it's going to be floating around a belt section anyways, is I just use nylon. I just make a strap. And what I'll do is I'll have a separate belt and I'll run it through all the pieces. So this would be on the front, that would clip over the belt. Sides, of course all I did was Dremel that down, glue it on there, and then they just hang off the belt. And then the butt piece. And of course, depending on how you stick them on there, depends on how much it's going to move on you and everything else. But that's what I did for the Predator, and that's what I did for the kids. So whenever I put their stuff on them, I just put a belt around them. All the parts were all in one, clipped it on, and they just went on. So it was very simple. Okay, so the Mando was a different story as far as the belt section. Every suit that I do, I basically strap on how I want the suit to look. So for the Mando, especially with the thighs, I wanted the thighs to actually hang and move around. So I bought the overall clips and just ran elastic through it. And then I used the section that you have to clip it onto and put it through here. So there's the little black trash can pieces that I was talking about, and that way it doesn't rip that other section through there. But then when I want to put it on, it just clips on, and I have my hanging piece. So that's basically, that's how I wanted it to look, and that's how I made it work. The front belt, there is Velcro that holds it right here, but underneath is the snaps. And once again, I was using the trash can, and that's what I use so the stuff doesn't pull through. And it doesn't have to look pretty underneath it, which is why it doesn't. I mean, this is all me making it look like that anyways. So if you ever look at pictures of my Mando, you never see any of this stuff. But the buttons and snaps are really nice for stuff you want to use. And so whenever you're going through Joann's and you are looking at all that stuff you can use, think about how you want the suit to move and how you want it to work with you when you're walking, and how basically when people take pictures of you. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your shopping. Okay, next up is gauntlets, and on both of these suits I really didn't have to do strapping to them. I have done eyelets thanks to Mason. He actually showed me that you can put the eyelets through foam and use it and strap it just like anything else. But for the Predator, it's just foam padding. So I did a regular layer of the Harbor Freight foam, and then I did the green awesome upholstery foam, and it just sticks. It won't move on you as long as you have it tight enough. When I have a suit on, it definitely doesn't move. But that's how I usually do the arm pieces. It's just forced with the pressure. Okay, for the Mando, it was just straight elastic. And of course, Dremel it or cross hatch it whenever you're doing your elastic, which is repetitive, and I'm going to keep saying it. But it was just, this is based off of pressure too. The elastic stretches out, and there's your armband. So I don't really consider that strapping, but it is. But that's what I did for that one. Alright, time for shoulders. Now with the shoulders, I usually attach them to the chest. So on both these, that's what I do. And whenever I look at designs and what you can do, a lot of people will look at this stuff and say each piece is supposed to fold up into whatever. But when you're taking pictures and you're actually moving around with it, that's not the most important part. The important part is you being able to build it correctly and look correctly while you're standing there without it moving too much. So with these, I could have added elastic underneath here to help it, but these are wide enough and the angle's right enough that it's going to move with my arm anyways when I have it in there. But what I did with this, I did use elastic to just do two pieces for it, so it actually still gives it that flexibility and movement. Dremel, crosshatch, whatever you want to do. I did the parachute clips, and then I connected it to the chest piece. And the biggest thing is make sure you Dremel that down. Make sure you sand it down. That protective layer will rip these off if you're at a convention. This will not come off unless I completely rip the foam. My kids, I mean, you know how kids are, they don't care. The foam doesn't matter. They ran out. First day it fell apart because I didn't sand it, and then I sat there and sanded it down. Sure enough, they haven't fell off since, and it's awesome. So that's the biggest thing. But as far as your mobility for it, you leave your strap long enough, moves, swings each ways, actually sticks on the arm, and nothing's going to move. And as far as your chest, everything I make, I try to either do a t-shirt style or have it open from the back, and it's usually just Velcro. Out of all the pictures, out of the thousands you may get taken, hundreds, out of the 10, people don't take pictures of the back unless they're really interested in the suit. So as far as, I usually try to put all the seams, everything else facing towards the back, and if it doesn't look pretty with the Velcro sticking out, if it's misaligned, people aren't going to notice it. So it's just that front pose that I try to focus on with everything. But that's the shoulders. That's how I did it on the Predators. For all of ours, we had parachutes. Okay, for the Mando, which is one of my favorite suits now, I did connect the back to the front using snaps and elastic. So, sanded Dremel, I actually just punched straight through the elastic with the snaps. And then on the other side, there's the plastic trash can, there's the snap, and it's just hot glue, and that stuff's not gonna rip out. What'll rip is the foam before it actually does it. So when I put this on, it's back to front, and I just snap them in, and then I'm good to go. The top is the same way as far as how I said the shoulders. There's a snap through elastic. There's the foam, and I added these so my shoulders wouldn't move, but anytime you see a picture and they're kind of way sticking out, it's usually someone's trying to get me to put my helmet back on real quick. But this way it stays where my arm should. There's the piece right there. That's not going to come off. That snaps right on there, and then it'll give me full mobility. So that's the secret to the Mando one. So that was essentially it for strapping. If you do have biceps, I've connected them to the shoulders before. I usually do the snaps just so they hold on top. Put some foam padding in there depending on which way you want to push the shoulders in or out. But everything is usually hot glue. I have been sewing some stuff since I recently got a sewing machine just on the nylon straps every now and then. Sewed some Velcro. But other than that, it's hot glue, Dremel, and just the tools that I have sitting at my feet. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you can use it to apply it towards something else. If not, thank you for watching. And if you guys have any other suggestions, please throw them in the comments. Throw them on my Facebook. Let me know, because I just want to help you guys build and be cool. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.